Good day everyone. Our research was titled The Consequences, Challenges and Insights of COVID-19 Interventions on Companies on Metro Manila, an analysis. On response to the rapid threat of COVID-19 across the world, where it poses a very serious risk, most especially to our global economy, our group wanted to know what are the interventions that every company have in order to safeguard the safety of the whole company and the employees. By considering some of the measure approach such as specific policies, procedures, and intervention strategies.
Since the day the coronavirus has started to spread, it has been causing catastrophic changes that has affected millions of people across the globe in many undesirable ways. This ultimately inspired our group to dig deeper into this major issue today, which is why the primary purpose of this study is to have first-hand knowledge about the challenges and changes that the employees and companies in Metro Manila have been forced to go through amidst this virus outbreak. To arrive at concrete answers to our inquiries, our group conducted a virtual interview via Zoom app with 7 employees from different companies in the said area who are all professionals, wherein we got to ask them several questions. After this process of gathering information, we compared and analyzed their answers using SWOT analysis, or the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Using this tool paved the way for us to better understand the current situation and experiences of employees and companies during this trying time.
My question po is, what are the rules and regulations that you follow in the midst of a pandemic as an employee?
Okay, so actually when the pandemic started or when the quarantine started, we are doing a work from home scheme. So that means that we're going to do our job at home and we're not actually required to go to the office. So that's for the first months. But when the Metro Manila was put into GCQ or General Community Quarantine, we are advised to go to the office. So but not all of us. It's just skeletal force. So when we say skeletal force, we were doing a schedule. So it's like there will just be 3 to 5 days. I mean 3 to 4 days a week that an employee will have scheduled for the week, so that we will limit the people inside the office, or we will limit the crowd inside the office, so that we will not contribute to the pandemic, right? And we will help the frontliners. So when Metro Manila was put into GCQ, of course, when we get back to the office, the management had some changes with regards to our protocols. So the first is they put a wash area in front of our office. So before we enter the entrance, before we enter, we have to wash our hands first. We have to do foot bath. So when we say foot bath, it's not actually that you're going to wet your feet, but it's just like a welcome mat that has disinfectant in it. So you just have to step on it, and your shoes will be disinfected. So after that, our temperature will be also monitored by the guard, and if it exceeds 37 degrees, you're not allowed to go to work. Of course, we're all required to wear face masks, and if you will be facing visitors or outsiders, we are required to also wear face shields. So, of course, I'm working in a manpower agency where we recruit people, or we interview people who will be going abroad, or who will be getting a job abroad. So, as we interview people, we have to wear face shields. Well, that's actually very limited this time, because we really limit the people inside the office, or we really limit the applicants inside the office. So, but if we will be obliged to face outsiders, we have to wear face shields there. I think that's all for the rules and regulations.
Pero let me introduce myself muna. So, by the way, I'm Joy Kamba. So, I'm currently working. I've been in insurance industry um, for about 4 years na. So, not necessarily insurance na nagbebenta ng insurance na. Kasi yung line of business namin is we provide assistance to the travelers. So, may account kami sa Australia. I've been part of assistance network provider based in Australia. So, dun talaga yung pinaka headquarters namin. As an employee, kasi nung nag-pandemic kasi talaga yung nangyari nag-iba may nag-iba yung yung operation namin. Ngayon back on site na kami, we do have temperature test sa baba. And then, nandun din yung nag-fill out kami ng DO form or Department of Health form na may mga list of questionnaires doon na kailangan mong sagutin with honesty. Kasi pinapasa yon ng building sa DO agent, sa health agent. And then, of course, wearing mask and then social distancing kapag lumalabas. And then, ayun din, as a general din, so hindi lang as an employee na kailangan mong i-follow yung mga rules na yun. As a citizen of the country din. Kasi we must follow what the government and authorities rules and conditions during this pandemic. Kasi hindi lang naman in-implement yung ganong klaseng rules and conditions para lang i-restrict tayo sa mga gusto nating gawin. So we need to be fully aware na yung pandemic na to is contagious. So hindi lang siya basta sakit na diabetes na gano'n. So kapag sinabing contagious, pwedeng mahawa eh. I mean, pwedeng mapasa-pasa. So it's a really dangerous kind of virus. And para din ma-contain natin yung ganitong sitwasyon, yung pandemic is talagang ayun, stay at home talaga. So, nung first stay at home, di ba, sa balita, sa news, palaging napa-flash naman yun, di ba, na kung hindi naman importante na lalabas ka talaga or kung wala naman talagang necessity na kailangan mo para lumabas, so wag na lang. So, yung nangyari nung nag-ECQ is yung lahat ng transaction is online transaction. Yung mga online banking. So, limit na lang talaga sa malling, sa paglabas-labas. So, talagang nalimitahan yung paggalaw. Kasi, kailangan din natin talagang maging aware na hindi bumababa yung cases sa Philippines, di ba? So, one way doon is yung stay at home. Ayun. So, as yun natin sa ECQ talaga, kailangan ng quarantine pass, di ba? So, kasi yung tanong, what are the rules and regulations? So, as a rule, as a part sa within that barangay, kung saan ka mang barangay, kailangan mo ng quarantine pass. So, ayun, kailangan mo ding mag-comply doon. Kasi, kailangan din talagang ma-monitor yung labas ng isang tao. Diba? So, hindi kasi pwede lahat lumabas. So, ayun. So, most of the time, yung mama ko lang yung lumalabas. So, kami lang talaga yung nasa bahay. So, siya lang yung mostly yung gumagawa ng errands. So, of course, yung nabanggit ko din kanina, wear mask and observe social distancing. And if lalabas, so that is the basic and safest measure for all of us.
Ayun. Sa office namin ngayon, madaming protocol, syempre. Kasi di ba lahat tayo unprepared naman nung nag-start ng pandemic. So, nung una talaga, yung company namin, hindi talaga prepared, ganyan, medyo sabog kami. Ganon. Pero, ngayon, medyo okay na yung, parang ang naging setup namin is work from home. Kasi bawal nga magpunta sa office, ganon. So, lahat kami ngayon naka-work from home. Meron yung mga nag-stay sa office, may mga pumapasok, pero they have their dorm na provided ng office. So, parang hindi din malas din yung contact nila sa ibang tao. Yun. So, ang setup nila office, tas may shuttle yung provided din yung office namin. Yun. So, parang setup office, shuttle dorm. So, wala silang interaction sa ibang tao. Kung sila yung mga nandun, ayun lang. Yun. So, ganun yung setup ngayon sa office. So, I think naman nagpa-follow naman yung company namin sa protocol ng government na dapat onti lang yung tao, ganun. Social distancing pa din. Ganun.
Okay, sa company namin, right? Sa rules
Yes.
and regulation, when it comes to performing our duties, kasi kami, we're guarding the international borders of the Philippines. So, we're required to wear PPEs, ganyan. So, face mask and face shield and gloves are optional, ganyan. And next naman, kasi meron kaming tinatawag na mga special flights na kami mismo yung pupunta dun sa aeroplano to check the passengers and everything. So yun, required kami full PPEs. Yun, full PPEs. And ano pa ba ang nadagdag ng pandemic? Siyempre, talaga strict social distancing sa bawat isa. Yun. And when it comes to reporting sa work naman, ano ba, ayun, required kami sa 14 days quarantine kapag yun, magkaroon ng symptoms and all, tas clearance bago ka talaga makapasok. So, yun lang naman yung nadagdag nung pandemic.
As an employee, of course, social distancing. Yung rule number 1 din natin yung magsuot ng face mask and face shield. And then, yun po, alcohol din every time lalabas ka ng office. So, yun yung pina-follow namin, especially social distancing.
They follow the common rules and guidelines set by the government. First off is wearing masks all the time, social distancing, wearing face shields in public transportations, and following to necessary quarantine guidelines. That's it.
Next question po, are there any changes in the company's operations?
Of course, there are changes because the pandemic really brought a lot of limitations in the operations. So I can summarize all the changes that had happened in our company by everything went online. So we're using Zoom and Skype to assist our candidates to, what do you call this, to coach them and to assist them with the process. So that's it.
I-expound ko lang kanina kasi I would like also to inform you na ano kami, assistance network provider. So 24/7 siya. We operate 24/7 and we provide assistance 24/7. And prior or before ng pandemic, yung what we do is providing assistance 24/7 for Australian travelers na kasi medical assistance yung line of assistance namin eh. We provide coverage sa hospital, we provide assistance dun sa example sa nabanggang insured or sa injured na insured. So we coordinate with them. So we provide assistance in terms sa covering ng medical expenses nila, ganun. So hindi pwede na na business hours lang kami. So talagang greatly affected kami ng pandemic na to. Kasi I can tell na we're not quite prepared talaga nung nag-impose ng ECQ. 'Di ba? Yung contingency plan or yung backup plan ng management nung nag-ECQ is talagang emergency at urgent. So I think most businesses talagang hindi nakapaghanda sa pandemic na to. Kasi ayun, nung nag-ECQ, the management have decided to talk each coordinator sa department namin. Kasi nga, since 24/7 kami, how can we operate? Ano yung pagbabago na kailangang i-implement para lang masustain yung business? So, yung higher management or yung manager namin, kinausap kami personally kung sino yung magpapalockdown sa office. Ayun. So, yung condition is within the span of 2 weeks lang. Pero may hazard pay. So, yung mag-yes, di makaka-avail ng ganong benefit. Pero, yung mag-no, maiintindihan naman ng management. So, yung benefit is yung hazard pay on top of the basic pay. And then, meron ding, yung meal, sagot din nila. So, every day, 3 meals a day. So, sagot yun ng management, may nag-deliver na lang. Ganun. And then, pero personally ako, nag-no ako. Kasi I think that time, hindi siya good sa mental health ko. Kaya nag-refuse ako. So, kaya niyo yan, guys. So, kasi may choice naman kasi kami. So, hindi, na-guilty din ako kasi parang ako din yung inasahan na mag-come forward at mag-present ng ganito. Pero that time kasi hindi ako ready sa ganung condition. So, my choice or my option naman. So, I started to use my leaves kasi may leaves naman kami. So, ayun, ginamit ko na yung vacation leave ko. 2 weeks, ganun. And then, ano pa ba? So, yung company namin have rental laptops and may internet yung mga internet charges is comparable naman nung nagpa-work from home na sila. Kasi nung natapos na yung 2 weeks na yon, kailangan naman mag-decide ng management na since continuous pa nga yung ECQ, ano nang mangyayari? Kasi yung mga tao gusto na umuwi. Ayun, gusto nang bumalik. So, ano na mangyayari? Wala nang magbabantay sa tindahan. So, it's a change upon change. So, parang adjust ng adjust. Things keep changing so fast. Kasi pabago-bago yung quarantine mode natin. So, hindi natin masasabi na kung kailan matatapos yung ECQ, kung ano ba GCQ, MECQ, ganun. So, parang sinet na din ng management yung mind namin na kailangan talaga naming maging stable at hangga't maaari maging adaptable during this time. Kasi naka-full support naman yung company namin. And then, one of the changes na nangyari during ECQ is, nagpa-rent na ng laptop yung company. So, work from home setup na kami. And then, after nung 2 weeks na naka-lockdown dito, pinauwi na sila. And then, pa-deliver yung company namin ng rental laptops. And then, nag-ask din kami paano yung wifi. So, sabi nila, bili na lang daw kami muna ng prepaid wifi. Kasi, not all of us naman kasi talagang may may internet connection na, stable internet connection. So, ayun, comparable naman daw. So, ano pa ba? Yung quarantine status nag-change from May to July. So, all of us are working from home. And then, nag-skeletal workforce kami nung nag-GCQ. So, yung skeletal work first, so ayun na naman, nagbago na naman kasi nag-request yung headquarters namin na kailangan na namin, yung headquarter kasi namin sa Spain. So, kapag work from home ka, yung calls na nire-receive namin, hindi siya recorded. So, parang nire-require ng headquarters ng Spain na since GCQ naman na, kailangan ng magpabalik ng tao. Pero hindi in full workforce. So, in skeletal workforce siya. So, ibig sabihin, limited lang yung mga papasok. Ganun. So, nung nag-MECQ na naman, nabago na naman yung quarantine mode. Ayun. So, nung nag-MECQ, since may mga bumabalik na nga dito sa office, may nag-on-site na talaga. And then, since nag-announce ng MECQ, yung challenges naman dito is yung mode of transport. Kasi that time, di ba, kapag nung MECQ, walang taxi, walang Grab. So, what happened was, na push talaga yung management na magpa-rental van. So, ayun. So, yun yung mga changes.
Ayun nga, ayun big changes yan yung pag-ooperate ng work from home. Kasi dapat talaga, kasi call center ako, di ba? Then, kung familiar kayo, iba-iba yung account namin. And yung account kasi namin is financial account. So, usually talaga, hindi talaga siya pwede gawin sa bahay, ganun, kasi nakaka-access kami ng mga confidential na mga information ng mga customer. So, bawal talaga siya sa bahay. So, sobrang laking adjustment or big changes din sa company na nag-operate kami ng work from home. Kasi parang sapilitan nga ito kasi hindi talaga siya pwede. So, parang sobrang big adjustment na ginagawa namin siya ngayon, yung work from home. So, I think ayun yung big changes na nangyari sa company namin na nag-work from home kami ngayon na nag-ooperate kami ng work from home. Syempre, ang daming mga adjustment lalo na sa system kasi nga mga confidential yung mga hinahawakan namin eh. So, ayun, sobrang laking changes. As in talaga, nakaka-stress. Hindi, pero yun, na it's nakakatawa kasi pinayagan pa rin kami mag-work from home despite na bawal siya. Nagawa ng paraan. So, I think ayun yung big changes na nangyari sa company namin during this pandemic.
Ayun, changes sa company's operation. So since kami nga is regarding the international borders, so maraming nagbago, maraming restrictions kung sino yung pwedeng pumasok and sino yung pwedeng lumabas ng Philippines. And sa operations, sa schedule, yon marami ding, lumuwag yung workloads, yes, pero lumuwag din yung schedule namin kasi nga, syempre, konti yung flow ng passengers, ganyan. Pero, ano ba, yun lang, ang nabago sa amin is yung travel restrictions talaga. Every time, every week, every month, minsan maraming binabago sa kanya. So, yun, medyo magulo, pero we're following the memos na binibigay nung nasa taas.
Yung changes ng operations ng company namin is yung social distancing, and yung operations is yung half ng employees or ng mga management is nag-work from home na din since medyo risky yung nasa office. And then yung nasa office naman is yung distancing nila is talaga sobrang strict. So kung maaari, kung makukuha sa CCTV yung mga talagang lumalapit masyado sa mga employees, sisitahin talaga. So, strict compliance kami sa social distancing talaga. So yun lang naman yung changes sa operations namin. And of course, sa mga operations sa mga branches. I'm working pala sa sa bank. So, yun, yung working sa branches din namin, yun. Yung mga limited transactions kaming hindi ina-allow, especially kung kung contact talaga sa mga branch personnel namin. So, yun, over-the-counter withdrawal, kung valid naman yung reasons, tsaka mga transactions na deposit, bills payment. So kung maaari, yung mga changes ng operations namin, via online na lang sana para mas safe yung transaction at mas easy yung transaction.
We had this so-called work from home arrangement wherein we utilize what we have in working. Say, for example, if we have laptops, personal computers, or phones that we can use for us to be able to continue our work inside our home, because in order for us to avoid spread of COVID-19.
How were you able to continue your job despite the changes that happened?
Okay, so most of the changes that we have at this pandemic is because of physical limitations. So I can say that somehow we are being able to cope up or to survive because of innovation and the ideas of the management. And somehow it really works.
I was able to continue this job, or I was able to maintain my sanity. Of course, with resiliency and having a thought on my mind na may pamilyang nakadepende sa akin. So, hindi lang naman ako yung nag-earn sa family namin. Pero, ako kasi yung pinaka na inaasahan ng family ko to support, to provide. So, kahit mahirap at puro adjustment, andun pa din yung thinking and perspective na you will come out stronger and better if you will just not give up too soon, di ba? Kasi hindi mo talaga matatagalan or hindi ka tatagal sa ganitong kahirap na sitwasyon. Kung wala kang thought na brighter, thought na at the end of the tunnel, there is light. After the rain, there's a rainbow. So, kasi kakainin ka lang din ng depression mo or stress. So, dapat andun ka pa rin na ma-maintain mo yung sanity mo. And then, of course, yung nagpapaano talaga sa akin is may family din akong nakadepende sa akin. So, that's what make me really din na talagang mag-continue din sa trabaho na despite what challenges we are facing. Kasi lahat naman nag-struggle.
Pero ayun, so, nung una nga kasi talaga, hindi kami pwede mag-work from home, di ba? So, nag-start tayo ng pandemic, I think, March ba? Ganyan, mga March. So, ang una namin setup, ako nandun din ako sa dorm noon. para makapag-continue ng work. So, parang March, April, May, hanggang June yata, nasa dorm din ako. Kasi hindi nga kami pwede mag-work from home back then. So, yun, linakin kami doon sa, or quarantine kami doon sa dorm para makapag-continue pa din ng work. Yun, kasi parang alam naman natin, ang daming mga company na nag-stop ng operation. So, hindi kami pwedeng mag-stop ng operation dahil ang mga customer namin is mga nasa ibang bansa. So, kailangan ko tuloy-tuloy pa din. So, ayun yung parang ginawa ng company nga na wala pa kaming work from home noon. Parang ang ginawa, quarantine lang kami doon sa office. So, office dorm. Ganun yung naging setup namin. Then, etong July lang, nagkaroon na kami ng work from home. So, ganun. Kaya nakakapag-continue pa din ng work lahat. Pero actually hindi lahat eh. Kasi, yun nga, madaming hindi, parang dorm namin, parang 50% lang din kaming quarantine sa office. So, yung 50% na mga hindi napili, parang madaming nag-resign, ganyan. So, ganun yung naging setup ng company namin during this pandemic. Una dorm, tas ngayon, nag-ooperate din kami ng work from. Yun.
How am I able to continue? Di ko, kasi kailangan, ano ba, hindi ko masagot din eh, kasi kailangan pumasok eh. So, siguro extra, ano ba, yung precautions na lang talaga, yun talaga, extra ingat lang eh. Ano, hindi ko masagot kung paano ko na continue job ko kasi kailangan talagang pumasok. So, yun.
How I'm able to continue my job. Medyo mahirap, sobrang stressful, lalo na pag internet connection. Hindi ako frontliner as branch personnel, pero back office kami, operations. So, nakasalala yung connection sa bilis ng productivity namin. Tapos, how will I continue? Paano ba? Kino-continue kasi kailangan ng tao, kailangan ng manpower sa work. So, parang malaking kawalan pag nawalan ng isang employee, lalo na medyo maraming clients ngayon na kailangan din ng increase sa mga bank accounts nila. So, yun. Siguro sahod na lang talaga yung nakakapag-continue. Tsaka, syempre, yung bayarin sa bahay. Wala namang no choice kundi magpatuloy. So, yun. Padayon lang.
Well, it's a matter of thinking your priorities or what should I say, who are you doing those things for? Say for example, I do my job for my family. So regardless of the fear of getting COVID-19 outside or losing your job, you should continue or adapt based on any changes that might happen on your work.
Do you think the changes that happens in your company operations benefit you as an employee? Why or why not?
Right. To be honest, I think it did not benefit me because it makes the work harder, diba? Kasi when we are limited, it takes a lot of effort. But somehow I can say that there's a good thing because it makes us more agile and it improves our thinking capacity. And it makes us able to do more strategies or do new strategies despite of the
One of the
limitation.
changes kasi na nangyari sa operation namin is yung work from home setup. Nag-benefit naman siya somehow sa akin. Kasi nung nag-work from home setup na kami, nagkaroon talaga ng time sa family. Hindi na gaano na stuck sa traffic, ganun. Yung everyday na nakikipag-ano ka sa traffic. And then, yung benefit na natanggap din namin is yung, ayun, coverable naman mostly yung rental ng laptop and then yung internet charge. So far, yun lang yung mga benefits na dulot ng pagbabago na to. Pero yung great benefit talaga is nagkaroon talaga ng time para sa family.
Siguro oo. Ngayon, during pandemic, syempre oo. Nag-benefit siya sa amin as an employee. Lalo na itong work from home setup namin. Kasi syempre, una, for the safety din naming mga employee. Second, yung sa financial. Alam niyo yon na mas malaking tipid talaga kapag nag-work from home, guys. Kapag work from home na lang, di kayo pa nag-work na kayo. Hindi, kasi syempre yung pagpunta ng office, less budget ba? Kasi nasa bahay ka lang eh. Una, yung sa pamasahe mo, yung transportation, ganyan. Tapos, yung sa food, kasi syempre nasa bahay ka lang, yung food sa bahay, ano yung kinakain pa nag-work ka, di ba? So, parang, nag-benefit siya kasi nakakatipid kami. Then, for the safety din. Yun. Pero syempre, may disadvantage din. Pero I think, later natin i-discuss yun, no? Pero ayun, parang ayun yung benefit sa aming mga employee, lalo na ikit sa lahat yung aming safety din. Kasi kahit na naka-quarantine kami dun sa office, nakakalabas-labas pa din naman kami syempre tawag dito, kapag nag-grocery, kanyan. So, medyo hindi din talaga safe totally na, ayun.
Okay, as an employee, siguro schedule and workload-wise, nakatulong talaga siya. Kumonti nga yung workloads, gumaan yung work namin, and yung schedule namin, kumonti din yung pasok namin in a month. Pero, hindi ko rin masasabi na talagang benefit siya kasi yung health risk, sobra. Grabe yung risk na hinaharap namin sa trabaho since we're frontliners. Kami yung unang haharap pag kami mga galing ibang bansa. 'Di ba yun? So, pero workload and schedule-wise lang yung nakikita kong benefit siguro since hindi nga gumaan nga yung trabaho and kumonti yung days ng pasok namin.
Benefit siya in the way na in-exceed nila kasi yung limit namin. Dati before ng pandemic.
So yun, hindi ganun ka-strict yung rules. Yung, may mga kasi, may productivity kami na chine-check, may service level kaming chine-check. So, medyo pressured kami as work from home during this pandemic.
Unlike before sa office, mas medyo stress pag work from home. Sabayan pa ng connection na mabagal and yung mga workloads.
Well, financially, yes, because company operations, specifically work arrangement, which includes the time of your work, been shortened in just 6 hours, not in the regular 8 hours, which your salary is just the same. So, I should say financially, yes.
As an employee, what are the challenges that you have encountered in your workplace?
Okay, challenges. Okay, so aside from it's hard to wear face mask while working. Um, we have some challenges having that some offices that are connected to our procedures are closed for some months, just like the VFS. So VFS is Visa Facilitating Services Global. So that's actually closed for some months, for like 5 months. So our applicants were not allowed to do biometrics. So for the biometrics, kasi syempre, you'll use your finger, diba? So hindi sila allowed na, i-proceed yun. Ayan, so, hindi sila pwedeng mag-biometric. So, for some months natenga sila. So, they were put on pending status for some months and they were just waiting because we are in the midst of the pandemic. So, I think the biggest challenge that our company faced this pandemic is the delay.
Yung challenging yung nag-MECQ kasi that time, 'di ba 24/7 kami. So, nung nag-MECQ, sinusundo ako ng 4:30 AM. So, I need to wake up mga about 3:30 AM. So, napaka-challenging kasi alam mo yun, yung schedule, yung transition ng schedule yung pinaka-challenging. Kasi kinausap kami na okay, eto na yung schedule natin, 12 hours, 12 hours shift. Kasi bakit siya naging 12 hours? Kasi susunduin lang kami, hatid lang kami and then susunduin. So hindi pwedeng hindi pwedeng kapag may uuwi na, sundin ng van kasi lugi naman yung company nun, 'di ba? So parang isang sunduan, isang katiran, ganun. So ayun, so medyo na compromise yung health then yung mental health din that time. Pero bayad naman. Bayad naman yung OT, yung sa 12 hours na yun. yung 4 hours or 5 hours OT na yun, bayad naman. Siguro yun na yung benefit. Pero challenging kasi hindi sana yung katawan namin within that long period of time na magtrabaho. And then although hindi naman ganun kabigat yung workload, pero kasi andun pa din yung struggle na, oh my God, mag-stay ka sa office 12 hours. And then, pag uwi mo, di ba door to door, ako pa yung pinakahuling ihahatid. So, sila muna bago ako. So, bago ako makauwi, oh my God, ilang hours na lang yung natitira. Tutulog ko na lang, kain. Ganun na lang. Parang siya. Hindi siya healthy na routine. Nung nag-MECQ talaga. So, thank God, I was able to endure it naman. Napakataas ng tolerance sa mga ganong klaseng sitwasyon.
Ano ba? Or like, ang hirap kasi hindi na ako nag-work ngayon dun sa mismong physical office namin, no? Pero there's challenges pa din naman kahit na work from home. Lalo na, kasi siguro, lalo na kapag kailangan ng mga assistance ng supervisor, ganyan, mahirap mag-approach kapag nasa work from home na since kailangan tatatadin mo na siya bago sumagot yung mga supervisor. Siguro, I think, ayun yung challenges kasi hindi mo sila agad ma-approach unlike na nasa office, unlike yung normal lang, na a normal setup. So, I think ayun yung hirap na yung nasa work from home kami na hindi namin nakukuha yung full support ng mga supervisor namin kasi nga ganito yung setup na virtual lang nag-uusap, so mahirap. Unlike na nasa physical office kayo, na lalapit ka lang sa station nila, ganun. So, I think ayun lang naman yung challenges so far ngayon sa setup namin.
Ayun, so workplace yun talaga, health risk talaga kasi hindi mo alam di ba? Sa lahat na makakaharap namin na manggagaling abroad, hindi mo naman alam kung sino din yung positive. So yun yung pinakamahirap sa lahat na hindi mo rin alam kung paano ka mag-iingat, di ba? So siguro regular sanitation lang din talaga and yun, PPEs, yun lang din talaga.
Yun nga, since work from home kami, encountered na talagang challenges yung internet connection. And then, yun nga, yung stress level, yung, minsan din yung current happenings sa bahay kasi yun nga, hindi masyado makapag-focus. Tapos yung workloads din. And then yung mga quota na ini-aim ng company namin. So, yun yung mga challenges.
How do you think has the pandemic positively influenced the employees when it comes to how they get their work or tasks done?
Okay, I think it teaches them to be responsible. So it teaches us to be responsible because first, because we have a problem in our country, we have to be mindful of the people around us because we might, as much as we are concerned with our health, we have to be concerned with others as well. So we have to be very careful as we do the job. We also have to take care of ourselves. We also have to take care of our health. And it opens us also for better strategies and it enables us to discover new ways to do our job.
Siguro ayun, nabanggit ko na kanina, 'di ba? Yung it saved the employees being stuck in traffic. And then siguro yun yung mga positive side ng pandemic. And then more time with family. And then siguro na-enjoy ko din yung off ko nung nag-work from home setup kami. Kasi kung ano talaga yung plotted schedule mo that time, yun lang talaga yung plot mo. So, wala na yung nagre-request ng mandatory overtime, ganun. So, na-lessen yung mga office na nag-work from home kami. So, and then, of course, hindi na kailangan gumising ng maaga.
Siguro siguro ngayon lahat siguro ng employee na nag-work siguro, feeling ko tinitignan talaga namin ngayon yung pandemic as hindi negative pero positive na, kasi syempre alam nga natin na madaming naka-unemployed status ngayon, di ba? Madaming mga nag-stop na operation. So, for sure, lahat ng mga nakakapag-continue ng work, tinitignan tong pandemic or tinitignan yung work namin ngayon as really blessing din talaga kasi hindi nga lahat nakakapag-work. So, ayun, feeling ko, sobrang alam mo yun, parang blessing lang na nakakapag-work ka pa din kahit may pandemic. So, nagiging motivation yun para lalo ka pang mag-work para matapos mo yung mga tasks mo. Kasi dati, syempre, nung normal days na parang may time na tinatamad ka kasi parang alam mo naman na kinabukasan may work ka pa rin eh. Pero ngayon kasi lahat uncertain eh. Na hindi mo alam kung may work ka pa bukas, pwede pa ba ipagpatuloy ito. So parang nagiging motivation yung pandemic na kailangan mag-work hard, kailangan tapusin yung mga tasks, kailangan maging excellent ka sa work mo ngayon. Kasi ito yung time na hindi lahat nakakapag-work eh. Ganun. So, I think nagiging motivation yung pandemic ngayon para lalong mag-work hard knowing na hindi lahat may trabaho eh. Ayun.
Siguro sa line of work namin, mas naging ano kami, tolerant sa mga irate and mga rude passengers. Kasi syempre naiintindihan namin sila na frustrated na rin sila. Yung iba ang tagal bago nakauwi or yung iba gustong-gusto na makaalis ng bansa. So kung before talagang medyo hindi kami tolerant sa ganyan. Pero ngayon, mas nagiging tolerant kami. Naiintindihan namin, we empathize with them. Pero syempre firm pa rin kami sa pagpapatupad ng law natin dito sa Philippines.
Siguro different perspective as person, especially kung connected ka talaga kay Lord. Kasi many of us right now sa company namin, sobrang stressed na talaga and sobrang depressed. May mga, isa sa reason ng mga pag-resign ngayon ng mga co-employees ko is work from home. Hindi kinaya yung stress sa work from home. Siguro as a positive person na rin, kung iti-take ko siya as personally kung siyang iti-take, positively influence, siguro since work from home nga, yung pandemic, I have time sa family ko and I have time kay God. Parang in a way na parang nakakapag-alat ako ng time. Hindi tulad dati kasi, di ba, biyahe-biyahe pa. Ngayon, nasa bahay ka na lang. So, kung may 9 hours ka sa trabaho mo, though hindi naman talaga at fully na nandun yung focus mo sa 9 hours. Of course, may mga task ka pang nagagawa sa bahay, may mga task ka pang igugol yung time mo sa family mo, and also sa ministry, sa church. So, yun yung positive way. Tsaka thankful na din kasi may mga realizations during this pandemic na inalaw sa akin si Lord. Of course, yung allowing time nga talaga. During this pandemic, parang nagkaroon siya ng chance na talagang tumibay lalo yung faith ko kay Lord, yung relationship ko kay Lord. So, yun yung positive way siguro.
So basically, if you fear of losing your job because of this pandemic, you should focus on your tasks, be efficient and effective in accomplishing all of those. So yeah, for you not to be removed from your job, you should um, do your best at all times in your job. So that's what make most of us workers or frontliners positively do our jobs and be competitive at all times.
What is the repercussion of the pandemic on the performance or productivity of the employees?
So, repercussion, parang ano siya, di ba? Parang reflection. So, I think the repercussion, I can say that the repercussion of many employees is that the more you want to finish the job, the less you call it work. So, because we have limited time, we want to do the job or to finish the job as soon as possible or as fast as we can. So, um, as we have the desire to finish it, the less we feel that we are working.
So, yung work from home setup namin, hindi naman nag-guarantee na mapa-perfect namin yung service level o yung perfect performance ng each employee. At talagang I can tell na it's really not the best way and setup to provide quality service. Kasi, bakit? Kasi unang-una, yung work from home setup namin, mag-receive kami ng call, inbound, and then magko-call kami outbound. So, ang daming disturbances sa background to the point na binababa na lang ni client yung call. Hindi na kami magkaintindihan. So, knowing Australians, so, they are just, napaka-sensitive nila kapag hindi mo sila maintindihan. So, they are also straightforward people. So, ayun, kung hindi mo sila masyadong maintindihan at ulit-ulit ka, parang magkakaroon sila ng ano, ng doubt na naiintindihan ba ako ng kausap ko? So, yun. To the point na ma-escalate na yung call at magiging complaint na siya. So, parang yun talaga yung ano, challenging doon sa work from home setup. At talagang productivity ng employee kasi most of us hindi talaga naging productive nung nag-work from home. Kasi in terms sa call, kasi may mga calls na naka-cut, may mga calls na ang ingay sa background. So, buti na lang hindi siya recorded. Yung isa din is napaka-unstable ng internet connection, knowing sa Philippines yung mga internet providers, di ba? So, maya't maya yung yung pagbitaw ng mga remote desktop namin, naka-cut yung internet namin, and then may kausap ka sa line, hindi mo siya ma-provide ng assistance kasi naka-cut yung mga tools na ginagamit namin, yung portal. Naapektuhan din yung productivity namin. So, ano na lang yung i-report namin? Kasi puro cut calls. Di ba? So, kaya if I choose kung on-site or work from home, I prefer on-site. Kasi mas dun, may clear line May clear line yung call. And then, talagang everything is here. Parang andito yung zone na nandito yung tools, mabilis yung dito, yung internet. Saka stable talaga yung internet.
I think kasi sa setup namin kasi siguro nasa bahay kami. So, parang nasa comfort kami ng mga bahay namin. So, parang, alam mo yun, may mga times na yung ambience ba, gano'n. Parang hindi ka kasi nasa office, so parang feeling mo hindi ka nag-work. So, may time na unproductive talaga yung mga employees, gano'n, kasi nga nasa comfort ka ng bahay nyo eh. So, parang times din talaga na hindi nagagawa ng maayos yung work kasi nga parang feeling mo nasa bahay ka lang naman. Parang yung ambience. Lalo na yung work namin gabi. Siyempre yung mga kasama sa bahay tulog pero ikaw nag-work. Diba? Parang may time na mag-aano ka din. Yung, ano na tawag dito? Nagpapa-idle, ganyan. Kasi nga nasa bahay ka lang eh. I think, parang ayun yung pangit na nangyari sa mga employee. Nagittamad, hindi nagittamad. Parang nagkaroon lang ng comfort na environment, ganun. Kasi yung parang yung tawag dito, yung anong tawag doon? Yung hindi ko ba kwenta tamang word. Pero parang wala ka doon sa na mag-work ako. Kasi pag nasa office ka, 'di ba? Parang okay, work mode ganyan kasi nasa mismong company ka eh. Pero pag nasa bahay ka, parang hindi mo ma-feel 'yon na kailangan ng work mode tayo. Kasi nga nasa comfort ka ng bahay niyo. Ganun ways. Ayun.
Okay, so dyan siguro andyan kasi syempre since health risk nga yung kinakaharap namin, nandiyan yung mga iba takot talagang pumasok, syempre may mga kasama sila kunwari mga baby sa bahay or mga kasama matatanda sa bahay. So marami din talagang hindi pumapasok. So syempre for us na or yung mga tao na pumapasok, medyo sa amin napupunta lahat ng work. So medyo mabigat siya, no. So yun yung simula na nagka-pandemic, productivity, anong tanong? So yun nga, medyo yung sa absences, yun talaga yung apektuhan yung attendance ng employees sa amin.
Yun nga, may iba kasi lalo na sa employees work from home, may iba na productive naman by the end of the day, may iba na hindi talaga productive. Based kasi talaga siya sa connections namin tsaka depende na rin siguro sa tao kung motivated talaga siya na gawin yung work niya. So, sa amin, siguro, i-generalize ko na lang din na medyo laylo yung iba sa productivity nila during this pandemic. Kasi may mga circumstances talaga na, yun nga, system down yung system namin, connection unavailability. So, hindi siya ganun ka-stable yung productivity namin during this pandemic.
So, basically, the most common effect of the pandemic on the performance of or productivity of the employees is that yes, in our company, time is shortened. making us not more on the quantity we produce or the outputs we make. So the shortened time that our outputs or jobs done shortened, which greatly affects our company. But still, we we come up to certain adjustments as time go by, as quarantine loosens, for us employees in the company to adapt based on our quarantine guidelines.
As an employee, what are the positive effects of pandemic that you have seen or experienced in the company?
Okay, so I think most of the effects of the pandemic are negative. So, but for the knowledge and strategies, I can say that we really improved because um, we think of new ways to do our job, and because we have to, we cannot do the job if we will just wait for everything to get back to normal. We have to think of some ways, we have to innovate to be able to survive. So I think that's the positive effect that this pandemic has brought in our company.
So, nabanggit ko naman sa inyo kanina, 'di ba, na travel insurance yung ano namin, yung line of business. So, kapag sinabing travel insurance, 'di ba pandemic, may mga closure, may mga borders closure yung country. So, paano na yung travel, 'di ba? So, we're really greatly affected with all the transition and sudden changes brought by this COVID-19. And talagang struggle is real for all of us. But the only positive effect I can think of is siguro it revealed how adaptable we can during this time. These hard times. Kasi actually, it's not the strong people or it's not the strong employee that will survive, but the most adaptable will be. Kasi ang dami ng sumuko, actually. Lagas-lagas na kami. So, kung hindi ka adaptable sa mga sudden changes, major changes, talagang bibitaw at bibitaw ka. Madali kang masway, madali kang bumigay sa mga ganitong klaseng sitwasyon. So, this time din, hindi mo na din kailangan talagang pairalin yung pride mo na nahihirapan na ako, ayoko na sa management, puro changes, puro transition, ganun. So, hindi mo pa iiralin yung ganong attitude eh. Kasi it's not a winning attitude. Hindi ganun yung klaseng attitude na kailangan ng management para mag-survive yung business. So, you really have to be grateful din sa sa company, sa management. Kasi sila din eh. Nagbe-benefit ka din sa kanila eh. Kasi paano na lang kapag bigla na lang na bankrupt or nag-liquidate yung, edi ikaw din yung affect. So, kaya may mga transition or kaya may mga changes sa schedule, sa operation. Kasi nga may pandemic. So, kung wala namang pandemic, tuloy-tuloy, business as usual naman, di ba? So, kailangan mo lang talagang mag-adapt, mag-adjust din. So, yung dati yung ginagawa, mababago na. Pero, andun pa din naman yung support system sa management. So, hindi naman kayo, basta-basta lang, ayan, bago na yung bala na kayo dyan. So, syempre, talagang makipag-coordinate din kayo sa management. Maging grateful din kayo sa kung anong support naman.
Siguro sa mga tao na lang, no? Yung sa mga boss namin, ganyan. Kasi mga boss kasi namin, di ba sila mga American sila, ganyan. Medyo, yung pagka-dominant, parang kailangan dominant sila lagi, ganyan. Pero siguro parang during this pandemic, naramdaman namin na yung hindi lang sila basta boss, ganun. Parang as a company, hindi lang kami may boss, pero meron din kami talagang parang refuge, ganun. Kasi parang, talaga eh, naramdaman namin dito ngayon na parang yung company talaga parang family kami ngayon eh. Na, kailangan sobrang na-experience namin yung tulungan talaga kasi ang hirap din ng ganito na magkakahiwalay. Ganun. So parang during this pandemic, parang yung company naging united talaga. So parang hindi siya normal ganun na ganun yung company ngayon na even yung mga matataas na boss talaga you can approach them na parang friends ganyan. So nakakatuwa kasi ganun nga yung parang ganun yung nagiging effect ng pandemic ngayon sa company namin sa mga tao. Kasi even naman sa operation din ganyan. Parang I think maganda din yung effect ng pandemic kasi nga lahat motivated mag-work eh. yun lang, may time lang din talaga na idle kasi nga nasa comfort ng bahay. Pero overall, I think everyone is motivated na mag-work. Ano.
In the company, positive effect ng pandemic sa company, um, siguro sa company, ayun lang talaga honestly ang nakikita ko since we're frontliners, hindi talaga syempre kami happy with this pandemic sa healthers. Pero siguro ang talagang positive lang talaga na nangyari is yung nabawasan na yung workloads and yung days ng work namin. The rest, medyo, hindi tayo, din.
Company. Siguro nakita ko na yung company naman kasi namin laging may ini-aim. Ganun. So, hindi siya stagnant. Sige, kumota ka lang, bala ka dyan. Pero may inaalat silang goal, mission, and vision na talagang dapat i-aim namin na gano'n. So, parang hindi ka stagnant lang kung ano yung level na kaya mo lang. Pero ini-exceed talaga ng management namin yung limit, which is siguro in a positive way. I'll take it as a positive kasi nga nakakapag-grow din and nakaka-grow siya as an individual sa trabaho and hindi lang din siguro puro sarap or puro pahinga pero kailangan mo din yun para mag-grow as an employee. So yun yung positive way siguro. May goal setting talaga.
Positive effects of pandemic. So we tend to um, collaborate or communicate with each other more often, especially in those times that we're not uh, um, with each other. So how should I say this? We we make teams for us to communicate better, to make our jobs way easier and communication to be more efficient. So yeah,
Okay.
those are the positive effects wherein we tend to fix things with ourselves, not individually but as a group.
What are the unwanted changes that the coronavirus outbreak has brought to the current standing or situation or the health of the company employees?
Okay, so I think the biggest effect of this pandemic in our company is it lessened the revenue of the company. So because the revenue was lessened, the salary was also lessened, the bonuses were also lessened. So it really affected the people. It really affected the whole situation inside the company because the revenue is what keeps the company alive, right? So, because we have some financial challenges, we are having a hard time to move. And for the health naman, I think one of our coworkers lost a loved one because of the virus or because of the COVID-19. But we don't really talk about things like that inside the office because we don't want anyone to feel discriminated. So I think that's some of the negative effects.
So, nung nagbalik na ng on-site, nag-on-site na kami, hindi talaga namin inakala na may magpa-positive. So, nung may nag-positive sa office namin, ora-orada, pina-close yung office, and then talagang nagpa-work from home setup ulit. So, napaka-unwanted niya kasi, once na may nag-positive na employee sa sa office, required siya na i-shutdown yung whole department. Hindi lang yung department namin, yung whole operation dun sa office. So, walang choice. Work from home setup ulit. Kahit na yung headquarters namin sa Spain is nagpapa-require ng back on site kasi kailangan talaga ng full recording yung mga nare-receive namin, yung mga ginagawa namin outbound. So, wala. Kinausap ulit ng management yung headquarter namin sa Spain na there is one employee that got positive. So it has to be closed. I mean yung office, it has to be shut down. So wala mo ng operation sa on-site. So bumalik kami ulit sa work from home setup namin.
So, yun lang yung mga unwanted changes na kapag naapektuhan talaga yung isang employer, talagang, especially nag-positive pa, hindi lang siya yung ano ba yun? Person, PUM. Hindi lang siya person under monitoring. Talaga na-confirm na positive. So, ayun. So, yun yung mga unwanted changes.
Ano ba? Siguro yun nga, yung madaming mga nag-resign during this pandemic. Kasi nga parang hindi lahat kami na assist ng company. Hindi lahat kami na kayang tawag dito. Consume, parang gano'n, lahat ipagpatuloy yung work. So, madaming nag-resign, gano'n. So, kasi madami nag-resign kasi although may work from home na kami, pero yung iba kasi parang ang tagal kasi kami bago nag-start ng work from home, no? So, yung mga parang hindi sumama sa amin dati sa dorm, parang they decided na lang na mag-resign, ganyan. So, siguro yun, nabawasan kami ng mga employees din, ganyan. Tsaka yung mismong operation din ng company, sobrang laking ng ginawa ng pandemic. Kasi syempre collection nga kami. And alam naman natin na hindi lang dito sa Pilipinas natin nararanasan yung pandemic, but even sa ibang bansa, di ba? So even yung mga customer namin, tawag dito, affected sila ng pandemic. So since nasa financial account ka kami, yung collection din namin, parang nagko-collect din kasi kami ng mga credit cards, ganyan yung mga payment nila. So, sobrang affected din yun kasi wala silang pambayad, ganyan. Kasi nga lahat, madami, unemployed din sila ganyan. So, yun, affected siguro yung sa loob ng company and even yung mismong revenue ng company, sobrang affected siya ng pandemic.
Sa health risk kasi sobrang laki talaga. Ang daming ding nag-positive kasi sa amin eh. So, kasi kami naman, hindi naman kami yung company na talagang ano bang tawag doon, nagpo-produce ng mga goods or ng mga ganyan. So, kami naman kasi is we guard the international borders na. So, siguro yun, unwanted changes is so sa amin kasi sobrang sabi ko sa inyo, every week, every month, ang daming memorandums na binababa sa amin kasi puro bago eh. Lagi sila nagbabago ng restrictions, sino pwedeng pumasok, sino hindi pwedeng pumasok or lumabas, mga ganun. So yun yung medyo mahirap na part dun, no? Kasi nagdi-deal ka with people eh. Akala nila makikipagtalo kasi sila talaga sa inyo. So medyo stressful sa work na yun kasi nila, akala ko ba pwedeng pumasok, bakit ngayon hindi. So yun, stressful siya sa work kasi nga ang daming travel restrictions na paiba-iba na binababa sa amin.
Yung unwanted changes siguro, yun, hindi yung service level namin, yung productivity, hindi siya ganun ka namimit kasi yun nga, in different reasons din ng mga employees. And yung unwanted situation, may mga ini-implement kasi sila na sa company namin, may ini-implement sila na siguro mabigat sa isang employee. Like, kunwari, pag hindi ka nakakota within the day or hindi mo na-meet talaga yung quota or sobrang baba na ng quota mo by this week, possible na pabalikin ka sa office kasi kailangan talaga ng productivity. Which is, yun yung mga changes and yung mga changes din na hindi namin gusto kasi nga medyo bombarded na kami sa mga goals, sa mga quota na pinapamit sa
For the
amin.
peak of coronavirus outbreak, yes, a lot of companies had suffered. But our company suffered the most is when we're having a hard time handling, or should I say, communicate with their clients, especially foreign clients. Making up, talking to our business partners wasn't that easy, especially their um, network services here in the Philippines. So we tend to, or we resort to have Zoom meetings, virtual meetings rather, for us to have more business partners or clients. So technically, the pandemic did make us did make a suffering to our company by lessening our business partners since we're a company of which deals with insurance.
What are the undesirable effects that the pandemic has brought to the performance of the company?
Okay, so I think the pandemic mostly affected the human resources because with less manpower there will be less productivity. So it affected the productivity of the company because we only have limited time and limited people to do the job. So that's it.
Siguro naapektuhan yung sales namin. Ah, wala kaming benta that time. Simula nung nag-declare ng travel ban yung Australia. So, kasi yung business namin in line dun sa kung ano yung magiging declaration or magiging announcement ng Australian government. So, katulad din dito, 'di ba, may ECQ tayo. So, doon din sa Australia, may travel ban din doon na ini-impose sa kanila. Yung tawag doon is Biosecurity Act. So, parang travel ban dito sa Philippines na from 18th of March until 17th of December na nga sila eh. Walang allowed mag-travel outside or domestic travel sa Australia. So, since yung nature ng business namin is travel insurance, di ba? So, paano na? Paano na yung kita? Paano na yung sales? So, yung naapektuhan talaga is yung sales. Talagang nagkaroon talaga ng downfall sa side kasi puro kami labas ng pera. Puro cancellation of trip, puro claims yung ina-assist namin, sinasettle namin kasi ang dami na nagka-cancel ng trip kasi nga may yung travel ban 17th of December na ganun. So wala din kaming benta. So that's why yung domino effect nun is talagang may nalilay off. Kapag sinabing layoff is talagang nagkakaroon ng ang tawag doon? Tanggalan in layman's term. Tanggalan sa department na hindi naman na masyadong kailangan sa company. So, ayun, sa unexpected. Kasi we expect na international company kami. So, parang lahat pala talaga, walang pinipili yung pandemic. Small or big businesses man, talagang nagkakaroon din ng struggle. Kasi para masustain lang din yung business, they need to do something. Katulad ng pag-lay off or pag-shortcut ng expenses. So, dati, kung incentive kami, ngayon, wala na. Kasi cost-cutting na talaga eh. So, kung yung pagko-cover namin sa mga claims, kung coverable yung situation, hindi na lang kino-cover. So, nagli-lead siya sa complaint. So, yun yung mga undesirable effects. Sa sobrang tight na, sa sobrang critical state na ng business, parang may mga nagiging unreasonable yung decision din ng management. Pero, ayun, I leave it to them. Kung grateful na lang din ako kasi sa department namin, kasi kami yung nagiging assistance. Nagpo-provide kami ng assistance sa mga client na gusto pang mag-claim. So, yun yung nagiging role namin ngayon sa business. Kasi may isang department na talagang may mga employee na nilay off na. And then, yung ibang, hindi naman sila totally nilay off. May iba na inabsorb, pero sa ibang department, ayun lang, nalipat sa ibang department. So, dati sa sales department siya, so since walang benta, walang ibibentang policy, nalipat siya sa complaints department. So, ayun, may iba nagre-resign, may iba na talagang tanggal talaga. Kasi, ang kailangan talaga ng cost cut.
Ayun. At kakasabi, parang ayun din. Yun nga na bumaba talaga yung revenue ng company namin nung pandemic kasi nga hindi lang naman kami yung affected but yung mga customer din namin. So, kailangan intindihin namin yun na parang expected na talaga na mabababa talaga yung mga collections, ganyan, na hindi yung parang yung performance last year na sobrang boom, ganyan, hindi na siya same ngayon kasi nga lahat affected eh. And mas madaming, siguro dahil sa case namin, dahil nga nagtitake kami ng calls na mas madaming mga customer na laging galit, ganyan. Na parang, gabi-gabi sisigawan ka. Ganon. Kasi nga, pero may itindihan mo sila kasi affected din naman sila. Parang kahit ikaw, kung ikaw yung nasa situation nila na sisingilin ka ng utang, hello, sisingilin mo sa ganitong panahon talaga. Ganon. So parang, maintindihan mo din sila. Pero yun nga, parang, yun, bumaba talaga yung performance ng company pagdating uh, sa collection, ganyan, yung sa financial status, sobrang medyo bumagsak talaga siya. But, yun, salamat din kasi medyo nakakabawi na tayo ngayon eh. Yun, so, kaya, ayun. Pero, ayun lang siguro yung pinaka-ano ng company during this pandemic. Ang hirap mag-collect. Ang hirap talaga. Ang hirap makapagdala sa mga customer kasi laging mainit yung mga ulo nila. And lalo na lalong affected na yung revenue ng company. Siyempre kapag affected yung revenue ng company, apektado din yung mga incentives. Sa amin, affected yung mga bonus. Sa amin, good.
Siguro, yun nga, yung medyo paranoid, ano ba, siguro sa employees, paranoid kasi sila eh. Kami actually. So, syempre, naaapektuhan mismo yung buong bureau, di ba? Kapag walang pumapasok, syempre, domino effect yan eh, di ba? So, yun. Pero, kasi sa company, ano ba, ang pinaka-goal kasi namin dito is to guard talaga the international borders. So, kung konti lang yung papasok, tapos sobrang daming tao, and sobrang stress na or sobrang, sobrang stress na ng mga tatrabaho. So, syempre, medyo may risk din doon na baka hindi ma-perform ng maayos yung trabaho. Syempre, sobrang risky nun kasi syempre hindi naman international borders yun eh. So, ayaw naman natin makapagpapasok ng kung sino-sino lang sa Philippines. No? So, yun. So, since dahil na maraming absences or mga ganun, medyo risky siya kapag stress na talaga or na, yun, yung mga nandun, yung mga nagka-duty no araw na yun.
Siguro yun nga, ay yung undesirable effects yun, yung mga nawalan ng tao, and then bumama yung service level namin, yung productivity. Though marami na ring mga clients na complaint, mga system maintenance, ganun. Yung mga undesirable effects siguro na dinulot ng pandemic din sa company na.
Weakening the performance of our company by not making the desired number of business partners or clients we should have. So technically, by poor communication, especially in virtual meeting, we both all know that personal communication meeting, hand-to-hand meeting is way more better than virtual meeting. So those virtual meetings wherein we can't really convey our insights of what should have been done in our businesses is key for our performance as employees in our company.